Werribee Zoo. My name's Paul and I'm going to be your guide for this part of your adventure, your safari tour. We spent about 30 or 40 minutes together and checking out these beautiful animals. So I can see all of you in my cameras, but I have no idea if you can hear me, so just give me a wave back there so I know everyone can hear me okay. Awesome, thank you very much. And I am going to play a quick safety message, so listen very carefully. We'll be on our way directly after this.
Are we all ready to go on safari? Time to buckle up then, as we're about to travel through the grasslands of the world to hear incredible stories of survival and about how we at Werribee Zoo are fighting extinction and bringing species back from the brink. You'll be getting up close to wild animals that are taller than your house and heavier than a bus. So please remain seated at all times. Make sure children are strapped in and turn off mobile phones. Although it is tempting, resist touching or feeding our wild animals and keep belongings well inside the vehicle because we can't stop to get them back. If there is an emergency, push the red stop button located on the ceiling.
Alright, so I've got a few animals to meet straight up, and it's getting a bit windy out here, so it looks like the bison are creating a dust storm for us a little bit further up. But at the left hand side, before we really get stuck into conservation, we do have a couple of domestic animals at Werribee Zoo. One of them, the Dromedary Camel. But when I say domestic, it's worth noting that the camel's dromedary has been extinct in the wild for so long that we don't even really know where they come from. We believe they come out of Central Africa, Somalia, somewhere around there. Recorded domestication around 4,000 years ago, so it's been a long time. Now considered a domestic species, found only wild, believe it or not, here in Australia, where there are a feral population that we're trying to get rid of, but we do love our camels here at the zoo. Ships of the desert, as most of the animals in this area are desert species. At the right hand side though, a great success of conservation, the Mongolian wild horse. This is a species that goes all the way back to the last ice age, and then sadly just pushed into decline by modern man throughout the 1900s. And by 1969 they were completely gone, extinct in the wild, and even worse than that, that there was barely a handful of them left in captivity. In fact, only about a dozen animals were able to be found to try to save the species. And they were put into breeding through the 70s, the 80s and the 90s, and then kicking off in 2004 they were finally released back into the Gobi Desert, and a brand new wild population was created. And to just further mark the success of that program, by 2008 they were officially recognised as no longer extinct. So pretty amazing to think that back in 1969 you would have been looking at half of the entire population on the planet, and here we are less than 50 years later, just they are wild and free again in their own habitat. So it is a great success story, the wild horse. Our little baby colt there was born just around Christmas time, a Christmas gift for us here at Werribee Zoo. And we might spot another couple of babies in this area if we're lucky. There is one visible out the right hand side, this little baby antelope out there, hanging out with the grown-ups. This species are called addax. Addax antelope come from the Sahara Desert, where they have lived happily for many thousands of years. Like the wild horse back there, these guys are a pre-ice age animal, so a long time. And unfortunately, just in the last 100 years, they have been slowly but surely wiped out. And last year they did not count over 300. So this species is in real trouble, critically endangered, and a great example of an animal now depending very much on zoos and captivity in order to survive into the future. They have that classic twist in the horns. If you can see their face, they've got a great, looks like a bit of zinc cream across the nose, weird sort of brown toupee of hair. They are a true desert specialist. Even the camels back there have to have a drink every now and then. Those addax can live out much of their life if they have to without actively drinking water. It's amazing biology. Habitat protected and get them released and running back around in the wild where they belong. largest animals at the zoo. Hopefully you would have met already or will meet today on the walking trail. That is of course the hippopotamus. 3 big beautiful girls waiting to meet you out there on the walking trail, but as we come through the back of the pond here, we do have 2 other hippos that you can't see. Hopefully you'll get a chance to see them now. So keep your eyes on the left hand side of the bus. On the water there, mum and baby are in the water. Now hippos don't like wind, and since this wind has picked up, I'm guessing that they're just going to be hanging out underwater. But mum can obviously hold her breath for a long time, baby not so long, so just keep your eyes on the water there, and if you're lucky enough you might just see a hippo pop up. Stick with that theme of water now, coming through the hippo ponds, a little wetland, into the waterhole area, off to the river. And usually have a few animals to meet in this waterhole. We are going a little bit changed, giving the grass a bit of a rest in here, fixing up some fences, doing a few odd jobs. So the zebra that we normally have here moved. We're going to drive past them in a little minute. Might still spot some other sort of antelope in here. Pretty as our emus, of course, but we do love the biggest bird in the world. And they are a little bit easier to tell apart than our emus. Very simple with ostrich. Black ones are boys, brown ones are girls. A little bit trickier with our Aussie emus. And when we come back through this area, hopefully around the right hand side, you can see some domestic species here at the zoo. This is the Texas popcorn. They're amazing. Obviously reminiscent of the Watusi cows in Africa, but these guys from the good old USA. Apparently really nice temperament for longhorns, so it's supposed to be a good sort of cattle ranch. Zebra from the waterhole I'm just going to drive straight past. I want to get you guys some zebras that have fences in between. Village out the right hand side here is a little replica of the sort of construction you can find if you visit somewhere like northern Kenya. For us it's a little reminder of one of our programs, a little business we started with the people of the Malacca community and the Northern Rangelands Trust in northern Kenya. It's basically about trying to create income and industry for the people in that part of the world that is not based on farming just wondering where they are, and then they are straight away the biggest animal at Werribee Zoo, the southern white rhinoceros. There's a beautiful view for you guys out the right hand side there. So we have 7 rhinos at Werribee. We've got 3 boys and 4 girls, and unfortunately the boys really don't like each other very much, so they all live off in their own separate areas. We do have one at a time comes to play with the girls. At the moment it's Capambo, beautiful big boy out there on the left hand side, and that shows you clearly that the girls are a fairly tight-knit bunch, and if you want to hang out with the girls you just got to keep your distance until they give you permission to come in, so that's why he's a little bit separated there. But southern white rhinoceros are the second largest animal on the earth, so only an elephant can get bigger than these guys. And just like those elephants, rhinos, southern whites are big and heavy, 2,500 to 3,000 kilos each, but quick on their feet, 55 kilometres an hour a rhino runs flat out, so they are seriously big and fast. Hard to believe that when they're looking so lazy, but having had a decent lunch, they're all in siesta mode. They're probably not going to fire up for probably at least another hour or so yet. And all the animals that live down here are animals that normally are found together on the plains of Africa, obviously with a preference of ones that like each other, so all the animals here get along really well with each other and usually have some nice interactions. As we can see here, some zebra grazing along. Next side, the largest of all the antelope, the eland. So the eland here coming up, seriously the girls and the boys, but a male eland can get up to about 1,000 kilo of muscle and horns. And as you can see, absolutely built like a racehorse, but it might surprise you to know those rhinos